Well, obviously, getting back to practice is always fun. If you guys are not in condition, that's not unusual. These guys have had some time off, well deserved. But now we have to get our mindset on the business at hand. And Fresno State team that is ranked 21st. I want to say this is the 5th ranked team we've actually played this season. It's kind of interesting for us. They're very, very well coached. These guys are a good football team in all 3 phases, and you can look at their record. 11-2. They've beaten 2 common opponents that we actually played, San Diego State and UCLA. Scoring about 35 points a game. It's really good defense, stingy on defense, only allowing about 14 points. They have some very talented skill players. Starts with the quarterback, some wide outs. Defensively, raise a lot of havoc, hit the quarterback a lot. Get their hands on a lot of footballs too. I think 61, I want to say, knockdown passes, 17 interceptions. Get after the quarterback, 24 sacks. I think they've hit him another 21 times. So, well-coached football team. I know their head coach. He's coached a lot of football. Was in the Pac. I don't know if it was in Pac-10 when he was at. Was it the Pac-10 when he was at Cal? I know it wasn't Pac-10. Yeah, Pac-10. And so visited him when he was up there. And, good football coach. He got a really good football team. So we got a lot of work to do, which is good. We've got some time to prepare, and that's a good thing for us. But I like our enthusiasm today. Kind of lonely without number 1 being out there. It's one game, you know. It's just you always see one. I generally talked to him before practice. He was missing today, so first practice without him, knowing that he's not going to play, and that's kind of interesting too. Puts a lot of pressure on the receivers now. With him being in your offense, you always felt like you had a guy that, you know, eventually if you got him the ball, he's going to make some big plays. So now some of the receivers are going to have an opportunity to do this in the bowl game, so they're going to have to pick it up in their performances. Questions?
So we have IU Keith Murray first.
Yeah. Well, this is a bowl game, and the guys that are available to play, we're gonna ask them to play. We got some young guys that haven't played a lot, obviously, and Porter's gonna play some. Hodges is back this week; he's gonna play. So we want to get some guys in the game. I think that's important too. You want to win a football game like this, to finish up our season, you know, at 8-5. But you also have to look at players. Some players maybe didn't get as many reps during the season, where if it doesn't affect their eligibility to be redshirted, and we've done that with a few guys that'll actually play. So I think it's going forward. You know, this is, to me, it's going forward now. We're going forward for setting the schedule for spring. And then watching some guys that maybe didn't get a lot of reps on both sides of the ball and putting them in some position where they can actually play the game. This will be kind of interesting.
Playing forward, that's interesting.
He has one more, you know, he's still fine. I mean, he can still, this will be a year that he actually redshirted. We kind of planned it out that way. You know, where he was going to be involved in a little bit more in the offense. Yeah, he's been out. He's been attending to some business as far as classroom-wise, and just some things that he needed to do. And I told him, I said, when you get all that stuff figured out, you can participate. Now he's back in participation, so it's good. Good to see him. But he's been around. He's been in the weight room stuff. Just that's all you have. When you think about players, we have to make sure they understand those consequences. Just take them off the practice. We did that numerous times in the spring. So that's just who I am. I don't mess around when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Coach, at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of speculation about the program as a whole, and now with the possibility of finishing 8-5, what kind of statement do you think that makes about the program and the first year as your head coach?
Well, I just think the program is one that when I arrived here, I said this very clearly: is that we're going to try to build a program with one thing in mind, is to be involved in that Pac-12 championship game. We fell one game short. We needed to finish 5-0 down the stretch. We finished 4-1. And with that being said, I feel bad for the seniors because they put a lot into this. And you wanted to see them playing a game like that. Personally, I did. I think going forward, we have some building blocks. We still have a lot to do. You know, we looked at our roster here. I was up there with Coach Gonzalez, and we're just looking ahead a little bit in the spring. Right now, we got 30 players on defense. That's not a whole lot. So there's a lot of work to be done. And it starts with what we've done last week and what we've done all year is recruiting. You know, we gotta go out and hit the pavement. We'll have some coaches leave this week. I'll be one of them that leaves to go on the road again. So that is our mindset right now. I think what I enjoyed the most this year is that I needed to earn the coaches and the players' trust as their head coach. They allowed me to do that. Hopefully I've been consistent for them where they know how I function and how I operate. So that's been the joy for me. But as I said, we fell one game short. And I think they all know that. And hopefully we can put ourselves in position every year to be in that position where you control your own destiny, where you have a chance to play in that game, because I think it's important. I think that's the number one thing for me, and hopefully the players understand that going forward as well.
You mentioned that you felt bad for some of the seniors. Considering that this is Manny Wilkins' last game, did that factor into your preparation this week at all?
Well, I think the whole season's been that way. You know, Manny was one of the first guys at the press conference. We've got a really nice relationship, and I can't say enough about him, what he's gone through his career here with so many changes, and him playing the quarterback position. That's hard on a guy that has to play that position. But I feel very good about how he has really become the leader of this football team. He really has. And the way he played that last game, we needed him to play that way. I mean, he played one of his better games when he was behind on the road. And that says a lot about him. So I'm happy for him. Finally got to meet his mom, which was kind of fun at the banquet, you know. And it was good to meet her, you know, and that was a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying that, meeting the parents, because then you kind of reflect on, when you visit with the parents, and you kind of see how some of these guys have been brought up. You know, that's always fun for me. So it's he's had a tremendous year, and then hopefully we can win one more game for him so he can leave out with another win under his belt.
Someone called you, if Frank Darby applied for a job, and that employer called you on a job reference, what would you tell him about Frank Darby?
I'd say that if you want to hook his energy into your system, if your system is running on power, you got a lot of energy. The guy is a magnet. He's got a lot of energy. He does. He's one of those guys that is the energized guy. It's never bad in his world. And you can just sense it on the sideline, how he speaks to guys when it's been a bad series. He's always he's a positive kind of guy with a lot of energy. He has a lot of talent too. We got to harness that, and we got to become more detailed on things. But his energy and effort, wow. I mean, he's a New Jersey guy. That's how they are in Jersey. He's a Jersey guy. we tease each other, you know. It's funny because when I took this job, he was one of the only guys. And you know, players aren't supposed to know where a coach is from, but he knew. He's the coach. You're big in Jersey now. You're a Jersey guy. I looked at him and said, "How do you know I'm from Jersey?" He said, "Oh, coach. Oh, you're from Jersey. I know you're from Jersey. That's all we talk about back there." I said, "All right, okay. He's right. He's right. I was born in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. He's right. He's correct."
Herm, as you were saying earlier, just how young you are and how thin that you are on defense, does that make not having the full practice slate that other teams are getting during the bowls less important?
For us, I mean, you know, my whole deal is when I arrived here and was to develop players, and that was the model for us on Sundays. And I was telling the coaches when the season ended, I said the problem is the guys that we want to develop, they're starters. They were freshmen. That's a good thing, but sometimes it's a bad thing. So I just think we have to get more guys in our program, and that's where we're at. And we knew that when we got here. We got to really fulfill the roster and get more depth. That's what we need. We need more depth in a lot of positions. This is not the NFL draft, where you go out free agency and can draft guys. This is actually college recruiting, and so you got to do it in a manner where you understand there's certain areas that are light, and we got to heavily recruit those areas. And so now all of a sudden you're not as efficient at other areas, but you say we got to live with it for another year. And that's kind of the process of what we're going through. But I think in the next year or so, it'll be good. It'll be good if we get the guys that we're going after. And we get the yeses and they sign. Actually, there's a lot of yeses until they sign it. So you're always every day you're going, how close is the day coming? You know, and it's constant. You're in constant contact with these guys, and that's part of the recruiting part of it. You know, you understand that, and I fully understand that. And, I've been immersed in it. I meet with Al and AP almost every other day about it. You know, and our staff meets once, twice a week, and so it's getting down to the point now where end of the month, next month, real important. You know, it's going to be interesting, a lot of fun. So pull on your hats. We'll see what happens.
Can you talk about the decision busing the team?
Oh, yeah. As soon as it came up, I was like, hey, you know, if Notre Dame back in the day would catch the train to go play USC, I said, well, they call it train, and went to play USC. So I said, I just think it's a way for camaraderie and to bond as a football team. I like doing stuff like that. I just think it's going to be great. We're going to make a couple stops unannounced, do a little sightseeing. You know, it's a 5-hour trip. We planned on 6, 7 hours, and they were kind of shocked when I said it. But a couple of them said, no, we had a feeling we might do this to us, coach. I said, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to bus, have fun, you know, and see the sights. A lot of these kids have never done that. So, I mean, it'll be a lot of fun. You know, I just think it's a way to bond, and it's all the players and the coaches, and it's just a good way to do it. Now, coming back, they were asking, Coach, we catch the bus? I said, well, you can actually fly back. I'll let you fly back. We're catching the bus going now. So that'll be fun. Make a couple stops.
2019 schedule came out, 4 non-Saturdays and 2 Fridays. Is that, how do you feel about
We're okay.
the non-Saturdays?
We're okay. We're all right with it. We are. We kind of looked at those deals. There were three schedules we looked at. We had a chance to vote on, you know, like which ones would you like and all that kind of stuff. And we ended up getting the one that we kind of liked. So it's just the way it works. But we're fine with it. I just think it's a schedule that it's like any schedule. It's on paper, and you don't know what those teams are going to be until you walk into the ball yard and play them. But I like that we have 7 home games. That's good for us. We play pretty good at home. We play some good teams on the road, which is important as well. You know, so the schedule's a schedule. It's one that every game is important, as you know. But you're right. There's not a lot of Saturday ones, and that's okay. We'll go on Friday. We'll go on Thursday. You play when you play, and it'll be fun. I don't worry about, you know, what days we play. It's just I'll be prepared to play. That's more than anything to me. And I like when it's not always consistent, because I'm a firm believer in dealing with chaos. How do you deal with it? There's a calmness to you. There's a manner of going about it, being organized. So I kind of like that, because it helps us function when we play in a football game. You know, guys know that I'm never going to keep everything the same. It's always a tweak here, just to test it. Oh, we used to do this. Why did coach do that? Because that's what happens in the game. You have this great game plan, and in the first quarter you get in the mouth, you go, that game plan didn't work. Go over here. We got to adjust it. So I'm all about chaos. I'm all about when things aren't always in order, because that's how you function when you play a game. It never works out the way you think. You always got to make some adjustments. So I'm okay with stuff like that.
By the way, the reason every school has 2 buys is because about once every 7 or 8 years, the calendar falls such that there's 14 weeks in the college football season, not 13. So next year's one of those years, so everybody's got 2 buys.
Yeah. So it works out, I guess, for everybody. And especially for us. I like the way the buys are hitting us, which kind of helps us a little bit. You know, it's good.
Anything that surprised you? 1 game left in your first college season here. Did anything surprise you that you didn't expect?
No. Probably the rival game, Arizona game, you know, how much passion is involved in that with people that don't play the game of football. And that's a good thing. I like that. When you have 2 fan bases that are that passionate about a game. That's how I grew up, watching stuff, being passionate about, you know, I like this team, they like that team. I'm good with that. And there's a history now. there's some tall tales being told, and sometimes those stories change because they just do. They make them more better. It's like the guppy story in Miami was a guppy. When we got to New York, it's a great white shark. It's like, because people add stuff, and so you don't know how much is added, how much is real, but there's a lot of history involved in it, and that's kind of like the deal. When you sit from afar and you hear about it, you go, okay. When you're a part of it, you go 119 years, you go, this game's been around a while. And stories get told from one generation, and it filters down to the next generation, and then the next generation, and then all of a sudden it's what it is, and it makes it very interesting. We had to actually go back down there the next week because of the state playoff games. So we actually went back into the stadium. That was a weird deal. Our coaching staff's coming down there, and then some of the Arizona coaches there, we visited on the sidelines watching the kids. It's like, this is kind of interesting. But it's, and the fan base is pretty good. They were nice. I mean, they were actually nice when the game was over. Coach, congratulations, But the week of, during the game, interesting. It's interesting. I thought the Philly fans were bad because when the Cowboys used to play the Cowboys, I know how bad our fans were. And it's something that I've been involved in now, and I appreciate it. I do.
Kind of going off of that, as your season wraps up as your first year as a head coach, is there like a life lesson that you learned that you'll take forward moving into your second season?
Yeah, and I think my life lesson is this, and I tell the players this all the time. I tell my daughters this as well. I say, everything I've learned from someone else, and you never stop learning in life, And that's what that's what makes life so great. I mean, regardless of what age you are, you can always learn something. And the more I'm around these players, the more I learn about college football and how they function. I'm real big on how people function and how do you maximize your talent. And every individual is a little bit different. And so I enjoy doing that. I enjoy meeting with different players every day and having conversations with them. And at this level, there's more players. Professional level, there's about 50, 60 guys. This one is 110. And you're recruiting more players to come in. And so I enjoy that. I really do, because I just think you learn about people. And when you learn about who they are and what motivates them, then you have an opportunity to make sure they maximize their talent. And I don't want any player to ever leave under this watch of our coaching staff that leaves here and say, you know what, coaches did the best they could do for me to get my talent and make me use it.
Speaking of players leaving, did you have a lot of involvement with Nikhil's decision to go to the draft?
Well, we spoke. This has been an ongoing conversation for quite some time. It did just appear the last week that he announced it, and he made it. And that was his choice. And I said, you have the choice. You have the backing of our AD and as well as myself. For whatever you decide, we're going to support you. And so, it's kind of interesting. He wasn't here today, but coming back Monday, our first meeting, he was there. I said, you're lonely, aren't you? And so he smiled, but I'm happy for him. I really am. It was his decision, and it was the right decision because he made it on his own, which is good.
For teams that are interested in Nikhil, what will they be getting in a player like?
Oh, a guy that loves football, and he set it up here when he addressed you folks, and he does. He is really passionate about the game. He's a guy that's invested his whole life to be a professional football player, and he's going to get a great opportunity to do that. And I know whatever team gets him, he's going to get a guy that's all in, that's committed to the game of football. He's not interested, he's committed to it, which is good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
I know you got all wrong and I have a chance to cover your freshman season. What do you think was allowed something you have the season?
Great instincts. Coaches cannot teach instincts. And his ability to make plays, some unannounced plays that you can't coach. I mean, he's a smart guy too. He gets everyone lined up. He's a freshman. And that's pretty impressive. To a defense it's not easy. There's some complication in it because we switch things when things happen and when formations appear. We come in and out of certain fronts and coverages, but his instincts and his ability to to make plays in big moments. You know, the game was never too big for Merlin. It's almost like a pro football player. You know, certain rookies that come in the league, you watch them and you go, man, that's not too big. They'll be fine. You just felt that with Merlin. You know, and then that kind of rubbed off on Butler. And then that rubbed off on Rashari. And then Lole was the last one to join in. And I think what it's done is set a precedent that if you are a player of talent, and it doesn't matter if you're a freshman, if you know what to do, you're going to have an opportunity to compete. And those four guys took advantage of it. You know, even Tyler Johnson. This was a guy that was moved around a little bit, really couldn't find his way, and he found his way. All those guys, in my opinion, were coachable and wanted to be coached, and their coaches did a great job of coaching all those guys. But Merlin is, he got some special in him as far as the game of football. So we're glad to have. I actually talked to him in Butler today. I had a nice conversation with 4 of the young guys. Told them where we're headed and what we want to try to build. And so they understand, but they understood that when I walked in their homes, to be quite honest. This conversation I had with them in front of their parents. So it held up, and I'm glad they had some success.